everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this week's episode of Legion will actually be the last one of the season. I've got a lot of stuff going on personally, and I have some projects and other things that will be taking priority, and then I'll be taking some time off of work for my wedding and other stuff that's coming up. So this will be the last episode of the season. I'm planning on doing season 2 sometime around the end of October, probably more like first week of November, and there will be announcements on my social media as well when that will happen. So make sure that you are following along on my social medias as well as subscribed on here and having notifications on. There will be a little bit of that break, so, and it is much needed just because there's so much stuff going on for me. But just wanted to get that out of the way before we dive in. There's a couple new things in the Black Veil Brides world. So first, they had just dropped some new merch. Same design, Vampire Andy, but they have one that's more of like a red tie-dye type t-shirt, and then the other one is like a long sleeve shirt. It's got stripes on it. So if you did not get them, you can still grab them on their website. I'll have that linked in the description below. I didn't get anything just because I'm trying to save money. But anyway, super cool designs. I love when Black Veil Brides surprises us with some cool merch. And then, of course, the fall tour is coming up very, very soon for the US. So make sure that you are grabbing tickets. There is VIP still available. Let me know what show you guys are going to. I'll be in Des Moines for that show. And I didn't realize that it is basically the same week as Labor Day. So kind of works out in a good way. I'll have a little bit more time off, but I look forward to seeing everybody that is going to that show. Hopefully I'll see some familiar faces. I know one of my friends is going to be there, so I'm excited to see them again. Also, the European and UK tour is coming up sooner than you think. It'll be 2027, so those tickets are still available. I believe VIP is still available as well. If you have any questions about VIP or anything along those lines, just make sure to let me know. I've had some experience with VIP quite a bit, and I can answer any questions that you have about it. There is the Black Veil Brides Discord as well. If you join that, there'll be discussions about shows and VIP in that too. So that is something you can check out. So this week's episode, we are talking about Carolyn. So this is the last track on We Stitch These Wounds. So keep in mind that when they were making this album, they had a limited budget. They didn't have as much technology as they did with Restitch. So I think in the future I'll eventually kind of do a comparison video between We Stitch and Restitch and kind of give you guys a little bit of history about We Stitch, kind of the things that led into Restitch, and everything that went into that. So Carolyn, this was a song that was more so at a time where Jake was dealing with his mom going through some health issues, and it was kind of a really rough time for him. So Andy saw just the impact that it had on him and thought that writing a song kind of from a different perspective would be a good way to go about it. And if you look at the lyrics, it does kind of hit like, it's okay that you're feeling this way, we'll get through this, you know, this is a really hard time. And I know it not only spoke for Jake going through that, but a lot of us throughout life will experience times where we are going through a lot of turmoil, either emotionally, mentally. You know, there's things that we experience with family members or friends maybe that are going through health issues and things. Unfortunately, it is a thing. It is a common experience with life, and having a song that is like Carolyn that can kind of be that comfort song and be like, it's okay, you're not alone, there's other people out there that experience this, it's okay to feel really sad. But Carolyn itself is such a somber and beautiful song. I know that there's fans that related to it then, they relate to that now, or they have related it at some point in their life. Maybe in the future they will. But This song was, like I said, was inspired by the things Jake and more specifically his mom were experiencing at the time of the album, and it revolves around illness, loss, and support. So I feel like having all those three things considered and coming into the song kind of speaks for itself. This song was actually was the song that I played on stage the second time here in Madison, Wisconsin. Truthfully, I didn't really know which song I wanted to play. I brought a couple of different songs to play, and I figured that I could either, I think my choices were like, I had Savior 2, I'd Cut, which wasn't completely done yet. I know I had Vindicate, I had Carolyn. I'm trying to remember what else I had. I had a couple other songs, and I kind of just sorted through, thought about, what song would I want to play, a song that kind of touches on a more of an emotional level. And I thought, Blackfoot Brides hasn't played Carolyn that I can remember on stage or anything for quite some time or ever. Correct me if I'm wrong. I know it's been years, so having a song like that, I felt would not only reflect some of the things that some of us fans experience, but as well as myself and the things that I've experienced and that I am experiencing currently. So I felt like that song was very fitting for the time. There is videos of that on the vlog. I also have a video up on my TikTok too. And of course there's pictures and stuff. But anyway, an interview, I will have this one linked in the description below as always. Andy said, "It's the first song that I ever wrote lyrically from someone's perspective. It's about Jake's mother who struggled with illness and how he felt. When you find out that someone's sick, you're there and you're going to try to help or do whatever you can. At the end of the day, you can't really cure somebody if they're sick. I took Jake's story and tried to put my own perspective on it. Like anything in life, there is a situation where you see something terrible happening and you can't necessarily stop it. The least you can do is promise you're going to be there for that person who's being affected by it." So this speaks volumes. We have, even if you feel like you're alone dealing with something, you will have that support. Having somebody there for you when you're struggling, either if it's something that's going on in your life or maybe it's just your mental health is you're struggling with that. Having, even if it's just one person, be there and try and help you and guide you and support you as best they can go such a long way. And having somebody be there as support can give you strength. And if anything, I feel like having somebody support you or having people support you when you're going through something makes your relationship with them so much stronger. And thus, in the future, if they go through something, then they know that they can also rely on you. So it is. I feel like a lot of people don't have that support system as much as others, but there's always resources and people out there that are willing to give their support as much as they can. So if you feel like you're struggling, feel free to reach out to somebody that you trust, that you feel safe with, and hopefully you can get some support in some way. It's important to have somebody there. It's kind of a shorter episode just because the song doesn't really have a lot of information on it, just because I feel like it was overlooked when the album was released, even though I feel like it shouldn't have been. However, when it comes to the We-Stitch versus Restitch version, I feel like the Restitch version is very clean. It's very nice. Production-wise, it sounds cleaner and it flows a little bit better from what I can hear. And then We-Stitch, it's a little bit more raw, which maybe that hits a little bit harder just because, it was still kind of fresh. And again, with the whole process with this album. They kind of they didn't really have like a professional studio to go to, so they were kind of doing what they could with what they had. So that rawness, I feel like, reflects a little bit more with this song versus the restitch version. But let me know what you guys think. I know some of us don't think there's too much of a difference with the two versions, but between the two, which one do you like? So another thing with this album that I want to mention is Black Veil Brides never really had like a huge support behind them. I mean, they had bands and artists that were supportive of them, but at the time, like, the music scene was so hard. I mean, it is hard now, but they had to deal with so much shit. Everybody in the band was dealing with their own thing as well, but to take that into consideration too, I mean, they were basically, this was their debut album and like full-length album, and they were all pretty young. Andy was very, very young, and you know, technology at the time wasn't as advanced as what we have now, so the recording process was a little bit different. The resources they had was different than what they have now. So for the time and considering all of that, overall I felt like this album did well for it being on a budget and kind of limiting factors. But this album was one of the reasons that Black Veil Brides started to gain traction, and of course we got Set the World on Fire, where they got a little bit bigger, and then same with Wretched and Divine. I think as we go through these albums and such, I'll discuss more in detail. There's a lot of resources and stuff out there, so I think during this time that I have off, if I have some free time, I'll probably end up looking at different articles and writing information down for you guys. That way, these episodes will be just a little bit longer. We'll have more episodes to look forward to. But yeah, that is all I have. Let me know what song or songs you'd like to hear more information about in the coming season. There will be some flute covers and some other art stuff that will be coming here very soon. And just a reminder that I have some Halloween items dropped on my Etsy. My Etsy will remain open until September 28th. And then from September 28th to October 7th, I will have it in vacation mode, so nobody can order anything. That will be my vacation time. That'll be my time off for the most part. I am taking commissions until the end of August, so you have until August 31st to reach out to me if you want any custom boots, custom vests, things along those lines. Tattoo designs, merch designs, anything like that. Reach out to me before then. Otherwise, wait until after I get back from my vacation to reach out to me. If it is a project that is something that's going to be happening, further down the line, you can email me if that is something you're interested in, or you can just DM me on my Instagram. We can set something up. I will be very busy these next couple of weeks. I have a lot to deal with, a lot to work on, but I am looking forward to this next season of Legion, as well as the other projects that I have. There'll be a couple of surprises for you guys, which I'm so excited about. That is all I have for you guys. I'm so sorry it's such a short episode. Thank you guys so much for supporting me. Thank you so much for following me if you're following me on my social medias, and I will see you in the next episode. And there will be announcements about that at some point. So I want to thank you guys so much again, and stay rad.